Hello and welcome to Storyboard. I'm Pavni Mittal. On today's episode, we're going to take a look at the leadership changes at one of India's biggest ad agencies, JWT. Its South Asia CEO, Colvyn Harris, who has spent 35 years at the agency, will move to a global role as Executive Director, Global Growth and Client, reporting to JWT's Global CEO, Gustavo Martinez. Storyboard's editor, Anant Rangaswami, spoke with Colvyn Harris on his new role and why he believes it will be productive for JWT.
Colvyn, congratulations on the new role. Tell us something about it.
Well, I think it's a fabulous opportunity for me. I've really got to duplicate all we've done in India. The last 10 years as CEO of JWT South Asia has taught me a lot. We've got a fabulous, spectacular track record in every client category with some of the best new business capabilities which we've achieved. We've acquired the best of digital companies, social companies, activation and event companies. Now, if you look at it from a global standpoint, if we could duplicate some of these efforts in other parts of the world, I think it will really help us. So that's really the role, to help Gustavo or to work with Gustavo. I'll work directly with him, and it's really to help him identify growth opportunities, to work with different markets, to try and understand where I can use my experience or some bit of my wisdom into our global company.
Right.
As you know, after many years in India, I think this opportunity or this exposure will actually add greater value to what I've done so far.
Right. What wasn't clear in the press release is where you will be located. Is it India bound?
Because it's global, and it is a staff role. It is not a line function. Gustavo has offices in all these places. So, for example, in Singapore, in London, in North America, in New York. So the mandate of what I'm going to do is really look at basing myself. Firstly, I'm going to continue to stay in India. Two is, there is Singapore where there are opportunities, and in that part there is the UK and there's North America. Now what we have is a global growth team, so I'll be a part of that global growth team. For many years we've always had it, but I think it was a delegated position or a delegated role and responsibility. I think that will change a bit, and I'll be a little more accountable on that platform.
Thank you very much, and all the best in your new job and for this office as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Colvyn.
Thanks. So how does this change impact the agency whose clients include Bharti Airtel, Pepsi and Ford? Here's JWT's Global CEO, Gustavo Martinez, on why these changes were necessary and the impact on JWT's India as well as international business.
Hello, Gustavo, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
To begin with, what are the implications of these two big changes? One is Colvyn getting a global role, and one is Tarun taking charge of South Asia.
So I think I would like to, first of all, thanks for having this opportunity to talk with you directly. Tarun Roy is going to be the new CEO of Southeast Asia, so he's going to be in charge of India, Nepal, Sri Lanka and all the organization. He's inherited a big responsibility because Colvyn did a fantastic job during the last 10 years during his tenure as a CEO. The main implication for him is to try to revitalize the company, try to also translate my global agenda for the Indian market. Basically pivoted in two big pivots. One is growth and the other one is creative work and better work, and also clearly deliver better service to our clients, and then cope with all the different services that we are expanding on our global company. And Colvyn is taking advantage of his experience, taking advantage of his knowledge of J. Walter Thompson Company, taking advantage of his also Indian/international kind of capabilities. I would like to have him, and he's going to be part of my global growth team, working together with me in order to try to, in some way, export the good experience that we got from India, export the talent that we have, and export some of the fantastic case that we got in India during the last 10 years to the rest of the world. So I'm so fortunate because I'm going to have two amazing talent, one in India, Tarun, that also is bringing a new fresh perspective, because even though he's an ex-J. Walter Thompson guy, he's been spending the last 7 years in the media side, running one of the media holding companies here, and also dealing with the clients from the other perspective. So his perspective plus the new agenda and the new mission that we define for the company, I think is going to be vital and very energizing for our company here in India.
You've been about a year in your current role, so by now you've got a sense of what JWT worldwide is like?
Try to be precise, being 1 year, 11 months in the president role and 15 days in the CEO role. But you're absolutely right. I think I got the advantage to have this time to learn. I have this time to travel around the world to really, in one way, get the sense of what this company is. And by the way, I need to tell you that after 1 year, I'm the happiest man in the world because I made the right decision. I joined the right company. I joined a fantastic company. I inherited a great legacy. I'm surrounded by amazing talent. And you know, I'm so lucky, and let me try to share with kind of a joy that I feel because I have in my hand a fantastic organization. What is the challenge? Of course, all of us, we're going to have a challenge. Challenge is try to write the new chapter of this organization. We just celebrated the 150th anniversary last year in 2014. So now I'm the new CEO of the new starting 150 years. So I have this challenge, and we redefine the mission of the company. We redefine some of the key criteria of the company. We redefine some of the strategy of the company. We redefine some of the new services that I'm gonna try to launch in the next upcoming weeks and coming months in order to try to be pioneer again, in order to be ahead of the curve again, in order to be J. Walter Thompson Company again.
Right. Now, in general, tell me, what are the biggest challenges for CEOs of network agencies right now?
Being relevant local and be relevant global. So this kind of local kind of schizophrenia is maybe our major challenge. So we need to try to be absolutely relevant locally. That means working with local clients, working with global clients, being relevant in terms to try to attract local talent, but also retain global client and infuse global client in the companies. And at the same time, we need to try to be a big network in order to attract global clients. So I think this kind of a local challenge is one of the largest challenges. The second challenge is also catching up. As you know, Harvard Business Review, they release an article saying that the marketing in general, and when I'm talking about marketing, communication, advertising, has changed during the last 3 years more than during the last 30 years. So the other challenge that we have as a global CEO is try to catching up with all the new technologies, with all the new platforms, with all the new, I would say, consumer behavior that we're facing with the social content, with the social network, in order to try to deliver with the client what they really need. That is the second challenge. And the third challenge is retain the talent. Now our talent, because we are the company that we are, and we are, I think, training correctly, nurturing and feeding correctly our people, is being requested and is being in one way hired or receiving calls. So the other third challenge is retain the talent, keep the talent inside the organization, and try to keep them in the way they're gonna deploy their career path, they're gonna be motivated.
Right. You know, one of the things we're seeing recently across the world, not just in India or the US, is large brands working with small independent shops. We've seen Pepsi deciding to work with Moondog and Lloyd & Company in the US. Now that's obviously in some way taking money out of the pockets of the network agencies. How would you react to that?
You know, as I said before, this is local. So we need to try to be relevant local, and we need to try to be relevant local. I think I will fail if my global clients are going to see me as a big fat network. I think I need to provide to them the best of the networks, but also the best of the local agency. So I consider all my CEOs, my local CEOs, entrepreneurs, they are part of this network, and they are taking advantage of the network, leveraging what we can offer to them. So when a client knocks the door, or we knock the door of a client, we are offering the best of the local agency, this kind of entrepreneurship, pioneering speed, but also back it, but the whole experience of the network and the whole capabilities. Clearly, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, clients were a little bit afraid to, give their brand or the responsibility of their account to a small agency, because they were much more, I would say, reliable in big networks, big agency, flags everywhere. That is over. Less is more. But at the same time, I think as a network, we can offer to them capabilities that a small agency, a boutique cannot offer. So we can be one single solution for the client. So working with a network like J. Walter Thompson Company, they're going to have an advertising agency, they have a digital agency, they have a social content, they're going to have a shopper agency, a retail agency, even a research agency, because as you know, they can tap in our resources, but also inside the WPP. So we need to be nimble and agile enough to try to offer the best of a small agency, as I said, as an entrepreneur on the local scene, but back it and feed it by the advantage of being part of the network, but in a nimble way.
Sure.
In a very nimble and smart way.
We're going to take a short break here. When we come back, Martinez discusses the challenges presented by independent agencies who continue to whittle away at the business of the network agencies.